And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
And good evening, everyone. We welcome you to Providence, Cristo Rey. It's a Thursday night. We have high school volleyball headed your way here on IndianaSRN. The Wolves home tonight after their big win over Indianapolis Tech a couple of nights ago, improving their record to 2-3 on the season. On the other side, it's a Crispus Attucks team. The Tigers have won their last three, including wins over Irvington Prep, Indianapolis Tech, and Indianapolis Washington. They come in at 4-6 on the season. Great to have you with us. We're headed toward another weekend of a lot of volleyball coming up. And Hannah, we're back after 2 nights. We were back here on IndianaSRN on Tuesday night. We're back on a Thursday night. And a matchup that I think if you look at it on paper, you're really not sure what to look at this one tonight. We don't know a ton about Crispus Attucks other than they've won 3 in a row. We know a little bit more about Providence, Cristo Rey. Is this an even matchup as you look at the two teams?
I would say so. I think we're going to be in for a good match. I think there'll be some volleying back and forth. I think there'll be some good things to see.
And we're going to find out here in a moment. Let's talk a little bit about the Tigers. Again, they've won 3 straight. In fact, they've only dropped 1 set in that 3-game winning streak. When they beat Irvington Prep 3-1, they swept Tech 3-0, and they beat Washington 3-0. They do have some size. We were watching them warm up a little bit ago, and one of those is Linnea Jones, who is at about 6'2", so that could be a big difference up front. But we're going to have to kind of wait and see what their style is, what they like to do. Are they going to play well at the net? So it's going to be kind of a mystery in that first set.
Exactly. I think it's going to be really fun to see how they are as a team,
yeah,
what they do, what their tendencies are, who their go-tos are. I have a few predictions. I think you see 2 freshmen on their roster.
Yeah.
So you got to help but wonder, are they playing? Freshmen making varsity, that's usually a pretty big deal. They got two setters. We'll see who's setting. One's a senior, one's a junior. So we'll have to see how it goes. So.
And they've been the other night we had one team had 2 seniors, one team that had 1. It appears, at least from the roster we have, if it is all accurate, that they have a few more seniors than just 2 and 1.
I believe they have, 3, 4 seniors.
Okay, and that makes a
roster,
difference.
And it does make a difference. And they have a lot of juniors, so their majority of their roster is upperclassmen. So I will be interested to see how those upperclassmen lead those underclassmen, saying, how they create the team dynamics, what happens when they lose a point, what happens when they win a point, how are they coming together, how are they leading each other, and how are they playing together as a team.
Providence, Cristo Rey, 2-3. They snapped a losing streak after losing to Irvington Prep and Morristown. They turned around and beat Tech. We have a lot more information on them. What do you see in the Wolves tonight?
So one thing, just right off the bat, looking at their roster, they are a little bit of a younger team. The majority of their players look to be juniors, which, junior, you're kind of starting to create that culture for those underclassmen. So it'll be interesting to see how those juniors and seniors lead those underclassmen. But for them, I was able to get a little information on them from their coach. One big thing is they want communication on defense. which is huge to anybody's success. Being ready at the net and fundamentally sound, as the coach says. So basically what that means is on defense, he's trying to really get his team knowing where they should be on defense, what ball is their ball, what ball is their teammates' ball, because defense is one of the hardest things to master. Because when you're back there and you're playing with people, it becomes very difficult because you'll get a ball coming to you that might be yours, but a teammate might have a better angle to make a better play and a better pass to create more offense for you.
And that's a decision that has to be made in a split second, too. It can't be something you got to, go ahead and take it because the ball's going to be on the floor before you know it.
Exactly, yes. It's a very, very hard thing to master. So I think one thing to look out for Providence, Cristo, right, is how are they communicating on defense? Are they doing those things that their coach is wanting to see from them tonight?
They don't, and we're watching them warm up right now, and you can kind of tell they don't have a whole lot of size, and that might be a difference, too. I don't know if you look at a team and go, boy, they just don't have anybody, maybe it's past 5'9", 5'10", and the other team has a couple of players that are 6'2", 6'3", how that makes a difference until we actually start playing. But it could be tonight.
It could be. And, when you do have a more undersized team and you're playing against somebody who is 6'2", just the size of that and just saying their team's bigger than ours, that is intimidating.
Yeah.
Especially for a younger team who may not have seen people that height before. And so I think it'll be interesting to see how Providence Cristo Rey responds to that height of Attucks.
And then if you mention a little bit about Providence, if you are undersized and you just talked about defense and communication, that maybe plays it a little bit more into this game.
Absolutely. The best defense leads to the best offense.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're going to find out here in a few moments. Will Providence Cristo Rey get a winning streak going? They've only had 5 matches, so they played 5 less than what we have seen Crispus Attucks play this year. So from that playing experience standpoint, they're a little bit of an underdog here at home.
Yeah, having just a few more matches under your belt and under your season can play a big factor versus a team who maybe has only played 5.
And by the way, with this Crispus Attucks team hoping to win tonight, they'd be only 1 game away from the 500 mark. And as we mentioned in our last broadcast, we're getting very close to the halfway point of the season. Okay, when we come back, we will have the Wolves and the Tigers in Thursday night volleyball action right here on IndianaSRN. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet.
moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Back once again here at Providence. Cristo Ray. Want to remind you, tonight's volleyball matchup is brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Reynolds Farm Equipment is the leading equipment dealer and has been since 1955. Passion to Care, delivering care with more than 24 years of experience. Boilermaker Local 374. They represent highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. Wheeler Mission. For over 125 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community. Bertner Electric, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. The Morales Group. We're in business to create a better future for you and your family. Northwestern Mutual, inspiring people to repeatedly take action on their financial goals. Indiana Labor's District Council, the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Labor's District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA. And the IndianaSRN sports page. Follow the sports page daily with updated sports news coast to coast. Go to IndianaSRN.org and click on the sports page tab. Both teams being introduced as we are set for this one tonight. Time to turn it back over to Hannah to tell us about the keys to this one. They'll start with Attucks on the road tonight. But by the way, in their 3-game winning streak, 2 of those games they won on the road.
Wow, that's very impressive.
It is.
I think overall, if you're Attucks, letting those upperclassmen lead you. I can see they have number 8, Stephanie Arison at the libero spot, and she's a senior. Okay. So you're going to want her to lead that back row, lead that defense that gets set into your offense. Have them jump out to a quick start. They actually beat Providence last year, 3-0. So I think getting off to a quick start, making sure you're keeping energy high, which already looks like they're doing, and just play your game.
And then, of course, when you talk about Providence, Cristo Ray, you're at home. You just came off a nice win over Indianapolis Tech. And as we said on our broadcast on Tuesday, if you're at home, you want to win.
For sure. You always want to have home court. When you have home court advantage, you want to take advantage of it. So I think, for Providence, Cristo Ray, making sure that defense that the coach has talked about is stepping up to the plate, making sure you're covering, talking, communicating, all of those things. So I'm going to be interested to see how the communication aspect of the game plays a role in Providence.
Look at that. Coach Corey even got a keys to the game banner on there. It's no wonder the other night you were demanding a raise. Highest paid analyst we have on the staff. By the way, Attucks on the left. They're in the dark uniforms. Providence, Cristo Ray is in their home white uniforms here tonight. Great to have you with us. What has been already a busy week in high school sports, and now we're moving into college sports this coming weekend. And then next week, Coach Corey's going to be on the road Wednesday at Rose-Hulman for college volleyball. I'm sure you're excited about that.
I'm very excited. I think I heard I get some live stats. I'm very excited to fully dive into it. So.
You will, yeah. It's always kind of fun to do the college realm because you're not doing all this yourself. Mm-hmm. They get to do some of it for you.
Absolutely. And, even Division I volleyball, those broadcasters have stats instantaneously to them.
Stats, spotters, all
absolutely.
that stuff.
And it makes my fangirl go crazy.
All right. We'll look forward to that broadcast next week. Sign out to begin this one. Providence Cristo Ray will get things underway, and already a mistake on the serve and our first service error of the night.
Really love, though, that Attucks. You could see them follow that ball all the way to the line. Great discipline by them.
Side out Tigers. Good look at Demi Jackson. And a very high serve to begin their process here tonight. Crispus Attucks on the offensive side of things. And the point will go to the Tigers. All right, already we can see from an athletic standpoint, as you saw Porter get the point there, is that Providence Cristo Rey is going to have to find a way to make up for the athleticism because they're not quite as athletic as Indianapolis Crispus Attucks is.
At first glance, yes, I would agree with you. So I'm interested to see how they're going to respond.
Middle attack, and almost got that one, and the point will go to Providence Cristo Rey, and we are now at a 2-1 lead now for Attucks. Good look here at Mary Singh, the outside hitter, a sophomore.
The coach told me she is one of the players to watch tonight, so it'll be interesting to see what she does.
You know, we've been in this gym before for basketball games. It's not very big. You don't have a whole lot of room to work down on the sidelines and such, as the point will go to Crispus Attucks, and they now lead at 3-1. Looked like that was Lanaya Jones. So side out here for Attucks with a 3-1 lead. And the attack in the middle and the point.
Good swing there. Oh, I love it.
That looked like Zalila Jackson Thomas, another sophomore there for Providence Cristo Rey. And you'll see Mariah Day come in. She is a junior. So here's Jackson Thomas on the serve, down by 1. Well, that one skied up and it ended up hitting the roof. And, of course, anything that hits the roof, it is a playable ball. Mm-hmm. To the outside. And you were talking about the communication. It was a little bit slow that time.
A little bit. You could see them, though. They're starting to move. They're starting to kind of get a feel for it. I do think it might take Providence just a little bit of time to kind of feel out Attucks, see what their tendencies are, where they like to go with the ball. So I think just give them a couple more points, and I think they're going to start kind of figuring it out.
Here's Porter on the serve, +2 here in the first set. This will be a free ball now for the Tigers, but guess what? They're in a giving mood. They put it right back over. See if the Tigers and they will do it again. Another free ball for Providence Cristo Rey, and unable to get it across is Day, and Attucks will get the point. Mm-hmm. Too many free balls, Coach. I tell you what, you start, it's like turning over the ball in basketball. You're going to give the other team too many opportunities.
Oh, absolutely. You get teams sometimes that when you give a free ball, it's basically giving them a free point.
Yeah. 3-point lead. The overpass will cost them there. Litzy Molina there at the net, unable to catch up with it, and now you're down by 4, and the side out again for Porter. One service there, that was Providence Cristo Rey. And that's going to be hit deep. Now let me ask you, probably from a standpoint of strategy on that one, it was 2 hits and back. Mm-hmm. You got to set things up and try to go on the attack.
Agreed. That was another thing Coach wanted to limit for Providence was the number of free balls they're giving over the net.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see how that plays out the rest of the match.
Yeah, they've given up way too many. That'll be a receiving error, and now a 6-point lead. And Providence Cristo Rey, I think, is going to get a timeout, and they will. We'll take a timeout as well. Attucks leads it by 6.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
We're back here at Providence. Cristo Rey, a 6-point lead now for Crispus Attucks. As you get a good look there at Porter, who is continuing to add the lead here for the Tigers, and a deep serve misplayed on the back row, that time by Singh.
Yeah,
So, go ahead.
Sorry, that ball looks like it might be going out, so I would love to see Providence's teammates talking to her on that, saying, hey, out, or in, take it, You
didn't hear
something
anything
like
on there,
I
did you? Yeah. But that's back to the communication thing you talked about.
Agree.
But the other thing is there was only one player back there to help her.
Mm-hmm.
And another receiving error by Providence Cristo Rey, and they're down by 8. And how about the serving of Porter as she's now opened up a big lead?
She has. Good job by her.
Take another look at it right here. And
Yeah.
there was another instance where they didn't communicate on the receiving end.
Mm-hmm. Not a bad serve by her, though. She's getting it to go over, but then it'll drop right away. So it doesn't. After it's crossing the net, there isn't much time for it to continue going through. It'll just kind of drop like you see it did just there.
So why is that a difficult serve to handle when it's coming in almost like a moonshot and coming down? Why is that?
Well, because, you see it coming and you would kind of assume it's going to continue its movement backwards.
Right.
Or to you. And then once it's there, it'll just drop, which it can be very, very difficult to get your platform in the angle that you need to get a good pass there.
Right.
Because when you're in serve receive, you want to make sure your passing is there and your platform is out early. If you're walking up to it and moving it around, that's when things go wonky.
And they've been wonky so far here for Providence. Cristo Rey down by 10. And right now, Porter piling up the points here for the Tigers. And Porter almost saved on that back row. That's a heck of an effort there by Porter.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors in Indiana. Nothing runs like a deer. Give them a call at 317-849-0810. Side out Wolves. Camelia Torres will be serving down by 9. The overpass. Tigers rebound quickly on this one and make the return. Providence needs something on offense. So far, not very many attacks whatsoever. That one's just inside the line, and point there for Crispus Attucks. That was Landers, the senior.
A good play by them. They've got a lot of great movement, a lot of great communication. You can tell they trust each other, which is one of the hardest things to get in a team, is making sure they're trusting each other, and they do.
Daniels on the serve and unable to keep it alive up front. Providence Cristo Rey, and the point will go again to the Tigers, leading it by 11. Tonight's game brought to you in part by the Morales Group. They're in business to create a better future for you, your family, and for the community we share. We can match you with the right career and hire the right candidate for your company. Give them a call at 317-472-7600. That one is out of play, and Attucks continues to build on their lead here in the opening set.
Mm-hmm. They're getting their passes up, though. Credit to Providence. They're starting to kind of figure it out. So, and that can kind of be a hard thing as a hitter when you haven't gotten a pass and you haven't gotten a set, to then all of a sudden be like, oh, it's right here, and now I'm going to have to get in my groove.
And that one didn't exactly go according to plan, so now you're down by 16. But now they got to pick it up again. Another high serve by Crispus Attucks, and, they have found something in that, knowing that the Wolves have had a real difficult time handling that high serve. And how about that one just inside the line? Day able to get the point there for the Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the break they needed, huh?
Great up, too.
Matthew Condon, the head coach at Providence Cristo Rey, and Kiana Davis, the head coach for Crispus Attucks. And will they keep it alive? They will. Free ball again here for the Tigers. To the outside left, and the point. That'll be Landers Talked about her a little bit ago, the senior getting the point there.
I'd also love to see Providence Cristo Ray, Araya Day. I would love to see her just get up and swing at that ball. Sometimes it can be nerve-wracking when you see people on the other side of the net to want to swing at that. She looks like she's a tall girl over there, and I would love to see her just swing. That's
going to be long. By the way, checking into the lineup, Linnea Jones, the 6'2 junior, has come into the lineup now for Crispus Attucks with a 12-point lead. Side out here for Day now for PCR. And looks like we'll see Jackson Thomas back in, the sophomore, also for the Wolves. This all really started happening when Porter was serving. Got the big double-digit lead. Now let's see if the Tigers can try to put it away here. And not a very pretty play at all either way, but somehow the Tigers will get the point.
Sometimes everything just falls in your favor.
Yeah. Tell you what, I was looking at Jones there at 6'2", and she's towering over everybody.
She is.
Landers on the serve. Not a great set that time, so Tigers from behind the attack line, misplayed by Jones, and the point will go to the Wolves, and they trail it now by 12.
Oh.
Well, Danny Arena coming in now for Providence Cristo Rey. This will be Molina serving now, minus 12 here in this opening set. How about that? A clipper, and it goes down.
You love those.
I do love those. Those are great. Keith Myers claims he had a drill that you could hit through the net, and did he do that?
He did. I've had to do that drill before. But those serves, when they just clip the tape, everything, and he was like, please go over, please go over.
So there is some question on whether he really did that drill, right?
No, it's definitely a drill to work on really driving your serves deep into the court.
But we don't know that he actually did it.
This is true.
Okay. 18-7. The left hand up front, and that's what 6'2 will do for you. Jones just reaching up with the left hand, getting the point.
Swiped it right back down. I love it. You can see her do a little dance there.
I would imagine the basketball coach is hoping she plays basketball.
Ooh, yeah, probably.
19-7. Take a look at this one.
Slams it down and then.
Really didn't have to get a whole lot of jump on that one, did she?
No. That's what happens when you're 6'2".
Yeah. Demi Jackson on the serve. On the return, Tigers back to the attack, outside left, barely sweeping it. Back to the outside again, and that's going to be long. Well, Providence hanging in there, down by 11. Here is Mary Singh, the sophomore outside hitter. Providence from the middle. Tigers back to the outside. The set right at the top of the net, but I think they may call a net violation.
And they did.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Boilermaker Local 374. They represent highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction as well as metal fabrication in the state of Indiana. We need a safe, dependable workforce for a new build or an upgrade, and maybe your facility maintenance. Make sure you can count on Boilermaker Local Union 374 to do the job right the first time.
I don't know if you just saw that, but number 6, Danny Daniels, just got up and swung on that second ball. Love that.
29, lead at 11. Now serving is Jones. Seen Attucks now put players in a couple of different positions. Here to begin this opening set, to the outside left again. That's where they've been attacking most of the time. And unable to play it is Mary Singh, and the point will go to the Tigers.
Love the hustle, though.
21-9. Well, I got to ask you, and that's going to be inside the line. The point will go to the Tigers. If I'm scouting, though, Crispus Attucks, I'm thinking they're going to go left, because that's all they've done so far. They need to come to the middle and right sometime.
Would agree. I think when Isaiah Jones is in the front row, use her. She's 6'2". She can just get up and slam that ball down. We've seen it. If you're Attucks, and you're playing a team that is going to be a little bit more evenly matched, I think they're going to have to mix up their sets a little bit.
By the way, we got confirmation on the discussion of whether Keith Myers actually did that little drill. He claims he did, but there's no video evidence of it whatsoever. So that could be, as we call it nowadays, misinformation. Morales Perez serving down by 12. Quick return again, and PCR unable to make the return, and they're now down by 13. Tigers trying to make quick work of this first set.
Credit to their serve, Attucks. Got some good servers on their team.
They have not made a service error yet. We've only seen one on the other side. Most of the mistakes made so far by Providence has been in the receiving side. And they've been giving up way too many free balls the other way as that won't go wide. And the point to Attucks, we're at set point. Want to remind you tonight's game brought to you in part by Passion to Care. More than 24 years of experience. They are a prestigious healthcare company. Passion to Care is driven by decades of expertise and a drive to go above and beyond. For more information, give them a call at 317-537-1811. Good return there by the Wolves. Let's see if the Tigers, and what do we have here?
Oh.
I think we have a double hit on this one. So now back to 13, and Providence will make some changes in their lineup. Torres will come in. Also coming in will be Mejia. But Providence has quite an uphill battle here in this first set. They'll have to regroup and then think about set number 2, and that will do it. Second service error by Providence, Cristo Ray. That will end the first set. Attucks wins it 25-11.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Burtner Electric Incorporated is fully licensed and bonded electrical contractor for your protection. Our electricians are available 24/7 for service calls and specialize in electrical service and storm damage repair. For more information, give us a call today.
Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. A guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Back once again here at Providence Cristo Array. Piper Logistics, one of our sponsors. They are seasoned professionals at Piper. They've consistently been trusted allies for all your inventory management, warehousing, fulfillment, and transportation needs. We stand as your comprehensive logistics partner. If you'd like more information, give them a call. 317-396-1023. We are gearing up for the second set. Set one dominated that time by Crispus Attucks. But the one thing you said earlier, there wasn't the communication that PCR needed, and they made too many free ball back. And when you do those free balls, like you said, it's like giving up a free point because you're giving that team so many more opportunities. So what do they got to do here in the second set?
I think, for one, just kind of slowing everything down. There's times where you have to kind of step on the gas, and then there's times you just kind of need to reset everything.
Right.
And I think if you're Providence, just kind of resetting here and just making sure that first contact is a good contact, making sure all the mechanics of your your platform are there and they're ready. So just kind of slowing it down, making sure that first contact is a good one. And when it's not a good contact, not panicking.
Right.
I think one thing we kind of saw with Providence was a ball would kind of be going a wonky direction, and you'd see a bunch of girls kind of running after it like, oh, we got to get the ball back over, when they had another contact to use.
Yeah.
So I think just kind of slowing it down and really focusing on their first contact so they can use the rest of their team.
Well, let's find out if they'll do that as we're ready for the second set. And Crispus Attucks, it was the serving we saw of Porter that got them going in that first set. They built that double-digit lead, and Providence was unable to rebound after that. So this time it'll be Demi Jackson who will be serving now for the Tigers. I like the way she winds up right there.
I was just about to say that. Every server has their routine and has the thing that they have to do before they serve. That's hers, and I'm all for it.
Back to the outside left, which has been pretty much the pattern tonight for the Tigers. And they'll get a freebie right here. And a double hit, I do believe, called against Danny Daniels. So side out Providence. They do have the early 1-0 lead here in the second set.
So far, though, I like what they're doing. They slowed it down a little bit. Good first contact. You can see their outside was able to get there, and just, even though it was a free ball, it was a well-placed free ball.
Yeah.
So that's what you want to see.
Only 2 service errors so far for Providence. The Tigers have no service errors, but they have an attack error on that one. And now they trail it 2-0 in the second set. They didn't trail in the first set at all.
No. And I think that's one thing to note here is how are they going to respond when they are trailing?
Good serve again for the Wolves. From behind the attack line, and now we talked about communication for Providence Cristo Array. No communication there for the Tigers.
Mm-mm. And you could see that set was in that in-between zones of the outside and the middles, which is why you kind of saw both of them going for that ball, thinking that was set for them.
Very deep serve in the middle backs. Let's see if the Tigers can make the return, and they will not, as Jones kind of lost her place right there, and Providence, their biggest lead in the entire night at 4.
Credit to them.
Zip your score. See if the Wolves can make it 5 right here. And they will not make the return on the outside. And so that stops the streak at 4, but a much better way to start the second set.
Agreed. And, if in the cases where you are having to send a free ball, typically there are places on the court you want to send that free ball. And one of those places is zone 1, which is where a server would typically go back to serve from. And that spot is usually a good spot to send a free ball because it is open. And if you're running a 5-1, your setter will release from there, typically making it a good spot to aim for.
Well, that time the ball was returned, and unfortunately, if you're a Tiger fan, they did not play that well. And they were able to get that one across. Nice play.
Good swing there.
So the point will go to Crispus Attucks. Now, this was much better than what they did a little bit ago, because the last one that came back is just a complete free ball. They misplayed it completely, and so now the Tigers have to find a way to regroup a little bit. They're only down by 3.
They've got Porter serving, though, so I'm curious to see how this goes.
I'll tell you one thing. They love that outside left, don't they?
They do.
That's going to be deep, and that's a great play by Porter to let that one go.
Could hear her whole team yelling out for her. Love to see that.
Do you ever have teammates that say out and it goes in? Do you look
Yes.
at them and give them a dirty look?
Yes.
If you're back there? Of course you do.
Sometimes. Depends who it is.
5-3 Providence. Of course, we already know that you're not a trash talker, so we got to throw that out the window.
It depends who it is.
Yes, true.
I will say that.
Anybody you don't like out there, you want to talk about them right now on the air, because we can bring their name up.
Oh, I don't know if they'd like that.
Well, we're not asking them to like it. We're just 5-4 your score as Attucks now back to within 1. Porter, this is where it all began last time. And for some reason, and this might be just a complete observation, when Porter is serving, they seem to move a little bit better, and they seem to have a little more confidence. And maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like that's the case.
I think it's safe to assume that. One, I think once you've gone on a run as a server, it's very easy. I guess that's the word I would use, to just kind of relax a little bit.
Right.
You're like, okay, we have a good server back there. She's usually good for 2-3 points. And it can create a sense of like calmness for some teams when you know you have a good server back there.
Boy, a good volley here back and forth. Now, I got to mention something, is that's going to go wide. Reminds me of a lot of teams like in soccer when the ball comes to them and they don't really think about receiving the ball and putting it in a place. They just kind of kick it. And that's what I saw right there in these two teams. They're just kind of, we're on to get, it's a hot potato and get rid of it instead of possessing, like you said, and set it up for the two passes.
Exactly, and that's exactly what you want as a coach. You want it to just kind of come as second nature. First step is the hardest step, which is teaching players, this is where you stand, this is typically your zone, this is where you should get your ball. But after that, it's the becoming second nature part that just takes time.
6-5 Providence. Ball played at the net, returned, and another free ball here for the Tigers. This is what we kind of call neither team looking to score here. They just kind of go back and forth. But this will wear you down. There's a net violation against Crispus Attucks. That was an obvious in the net that time.
Absolutely. Those are the worst, though, as a player.
We need to get, I would be one of those players if I were at the net hoping the official wasn't watching and we were serving and I'd pull the net down a little bit. Do you think they notice?
They might. They might. There is technology coming now to higher levels of where you don't even need line judges.
You're getting rid of them too, huh? Umpires,
it's
line judges.
Volt 6 technology, I
Really?
believe. And it can pinpoint exactly where the ball landed. It's pretty cool.
Who's going to run that?
That's a great question. I don't know who runs that. It's beyond my pay grade. So
I hear you. And the receiving error that time by Providence. Well, you know what? There'll come a time where they'll get rid of the chain gang in football because they won't need them anymore. We're getting rid of umpires.
Yeah.
Broadcasters are going to be out pretty soon. We'll just do all AI. Tied at 7. If we keep this up, we won't even have players out there. They'll all be artificial. It'll be like a video game. That'll be wide. I mean, you look at the video games now, those players look real on there, don't they?
They do. I'm impressed, though. Providence Cristo has responded really well.
They have. 8-7 lead.
Credit
Mejia back in. Well, that's certainly something that Coach Condon, I'm sure, was saying, listen, let's stay in this, give ourselves a chance to win instead of falling down in double digits as they did in that first set. And I did not say anything about service error right there. Last time I did that, we ran off about 4 or 5 in a row.
But no, you can see Coach for Providence truly believes in his team.
Yeah.
You can see him over there pacing up and down the sidelines. He's invested in the match, which is exactly what you want to see from a coach, so credit to him.
Misplayed on the receiving side, and we didn't keep any stats on receiving errors tonight. Maybe we should have, because that's been way too many if you're Providence.
Yes, serve receive is one of the toughest places to get out of. You see it at the highest level of volleyball, teams going on runs and just not being able to return it.
Yeah, and I would imagine in a lot of ways it becomes psychological.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, even I think at the highest levels, fun story, but fun fact for you. Last year at the national championship for Division I volleyball, Texas beat Nebraska 3-0, going into the final set on like a 6-point service round.
No kidding. Wow.
So you see it at all levels.
Yeah. Well, the overpass cost Providence that time. Now they're down by 3. Well, there are so many good teams at the Division I level. I watched one of them the other night, 2 ranked teams going at it, and it's just incredible how they play.
Oh, it really is.
We've got a timeout on the floor. Attucks leading it by 4.
To you. Standing with us. You are truly making a difference in the lives of our neighbors in need.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Dynamark. If you're looking to elevate your brand, check out Dynamark. Whether it's print, signs, promo products, you name it, they have it. They've been serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. For more information, contact Dynamark 317-328-2555. Following the timeout, the overpass will cost him again. We just saw the overpass, the last one, costing Providence because it went right to the Tigers at the net. That unfortunately didn't make it. But they're not playing the way they were with that confidence earlier.
No, and I think credit to Attucks serve. You know, when you're going on these really long runs, as a receiving team, it becomes such a mental game to just get a pass up. Yeah.
Well, and it doesn't help when you have Jones standing there at 6'2", and she can basically reach up and knock it in. So
doesn't even have to jump.
No. So now a 6-point lead. Providence would love to stop the bleeding right here. Let's see what the Tigers have in store. We have a whistle, double hit again. We've seen that now 3 times against Cristo Attucks. So they haven't made any service errors tonight. They've made a couple of receiving errors, but there's 3 of those. That might be their leading category.
You know, it's interesting, kind of like I was talking about Tuesday night, you get refs that might call more net calls or more doubles, and so it just kind of depends on who's reffing the match, but it looks like for this match, these refs tend to like to call the double.
Yeah, the other night, you were speaking on Tuesday night, we had a lot of net errors. It was net violations. It was amazing. Side out for Landers. Another high serve and the overpass. And it eventually cost him. I would be curious, and all these serves again have been high arcers, if the Tigers had somebody that could really nail it, what this would be like.
It is interesting. And sometimes sometimes when a serve is coming so fast, it can be, not always, easier to receive because you're not thinking about, I have to move to the ball and get in the right position to play it. Where these serves are real high and then they're dropping.
Right.
It's giving these receivers time to really think and make sure they're in the right positions. Versus a serve that's really hard driven, sometimes it's easier just to kind of throw your platform out and just hopefully it goes up.
Wilhite on the serve, and that's going to be long. That'll be their 4th service error. Only one, and that will just happen moments ago for the Tigers. And so Demi Jackson will now serve. 7-point lead, second set. It was an early lead for Providence. And here is the windup.
I love it.
She'll never have a rotator cuff issue. Keeps that all warmed up like that. Tigers see if they can play this one. It wasn't a great set whatsoever, but somehow Jones got it to go.
Right in the donut. It's the hardest place to defend, especially with a team who is focusing on that defense and that defensive positioning. Donut is one of the hardest plays because it's in the middle of everybody.
Yeah, and what else is it called?
Campfire.
Campfire. Good job. You passed the test.
Oh, thank goodness.
+8 here for Attucks. Oh, look at them. They covered the campfire easily. Wolves make the return again with no attack whatsoever. To the middle, and the big swing, 6'2". Jones able to nail it once again. It's now to 9.
I love her little dance.
I haven't seen him move like that since our producer Chuck Levine when he was playing. How about the play at the net? A little jousting action won by Jones again. Take a look at this one by Jones. Now, she doesn't get a whole lot of elevation, but she doesn't have to at 6'2".
No, but you can see her there get her feet set, which is the most important thing. You can see her do a little 1-2 hop, and that's all you need. Sometimes when you're in the right position and the ball's right to you, all you need is that little 1-2 and up to just get a good swing.
And she did.
She did that very nicely.
Lead at 11. We're talking about a, what now, 21-6 run here. It was 4-0 early. Providence had the lead, but now the Tigers have taken over. That one rolled on top of the net, and it's going to be point Attucks. It ended up rolling out of play. Did hit the antenna right there, so now you're down by 12. What is hard to believe is that if Attucks wins this set and it stays the way it is, that Providence played well early and they score less points.
Mm-hmm. But I do think you take that into consideration of how you played.
True.
I think there's a difference between fighting with a team and losing a point versus getting served.
Right. That one just inside the line, and right now Jones is being able to do it at the net and going deep.
Mm-hmm. Help us when you're 6'2".
Yeah. (23-10) your score. Jackson trying to finish it out here and make it a 2-0 lead for Crispus Attucks. They will make the return. To the outside again, down the line, and that'll be a kill. Great job, and the point goes to Porter.
Great set.
So we're at set point now, and this happened very quick.
But Danny Daniels right here, she's all the way on the right side of the court, dishes out a perfect set to her outside. No spin on it.
That got everybody excited. Coaches were up and feeling that one as well. So now, set point. Here for Attucks, trying to go up 2-0 on the road. To the outside again. Down the line, and the point. So Attucks storming back from an early deficit. They win the second set, 25-10.
we're not here to just sell you another piece of software and then move on. We're here to manage that whole life cycle of not only helping you procure the licensing, but then how do you manage and monitor those licenses over time.
Collaboration is very key when working with our clients. We are very much a partnering organization, so we definitely work as a team from a sales, marketing, and delivery organization, along with our partner ecosystem to help deliver best-of-breed solutions for our partners and customers.
Partners that sell IBM licensing a lot of times are very transactional oriented, and we're here to build relationships with customers, which I think is unique.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Officially Human. Their mission is to restore respect to game officials and recognize them as authorities on the field and the court. Do your part and practice good sportsmanship. If we don't have officials, we can't play. Also brought to you by the IndianaSRN sports page. Wall-to-wall sports news every day. High school, college, and pro sports. We have it all. Check it out on IndianaSRN.org and click on the sports page tab. And want to thank Indiana Labor's District Council, the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Labor's District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA. 2-0 lead now. Attucks coming back the way they did. Was it more of what Attucks did, or was it more that Providence was unable to keep their momentum that they had very early in that set that got them the lead?
I think a bit of both. I think for Providence, they came out of that second set very, very well. You saw a lot of good things, and we saw a lot more rallies in the second set. So for Providence, continuing those rallies and being able to score in those really long rallies. When Attucks is getting in that back and forth, they tend to have the upper hand, being that they do have the size. So for Providence, making sure you're playing defense, you're getting touches, and even if you don't think you can get there, making an effort for it. Because even if you're touching a ball, it creates a mental block sometimes for hitters, especially if Attucks. So.
By the way, high school football tomorrow, we have 5 games on tap for tomorrow night. One of the highlighted games will be that Cathedral and Bishop Chatard game. That ought to be a fun one after Bishop Chatard went undefeated last year, and one of the teams they beat was Cathedral, and Danny O'Neill at Cathedral now, by the way, the starting quarterback at San Diego State. So
good for him.
Yeah, he took right off, and so we'll have that one plus the other 4 games. You can check out the schedule on IndianaSRN.org. All those games, by the way, absolutely free.
Best part of it.
Yes, we don't make you pay for anything.
It's nice, you get so many streaming services that, $12 here for this game, but then you got to pay another $30 for the year for this game, and I run into that problem a lot with volleyball. So.
Yeah, it gets old, doesn't it?
Yes.
And I understand everybody's got to make a little bit of money now and then. We certainly understand that, and I know people argue, well, at least you don't have to pay gas to get there and pay a ticket, and it's all good, but we like the free part too.
Exactly.
All right, Wolves down 2-0. Third set is now underway here at Providence Cristo Rey, and a good start up front. Great job on the pass and the kill there by Jackson.
Providence Cristo Rey was there, though. Their defender read that well. She just got to get a little bit more lift to that ball, and it's a playable one.
By the way, for Crispus Attucks, 11 of 12 sets they have now won in now the last 4 matches. And Jackson again on the serve, and they'll get another chance to go on the attack right here. The back set, and unable to get that one across, is Mary Singh, and they're down 2-0 early.
I like what I'm seeing now from Providence. They're swinging. That's what you need. Sometimes you might miss a few, but it'll connect. So give them a few more points, and I think we're going to see something different from Providence.
So Demi Jackson once again on the serve. I've really been impressed from a standpoint for the Tigers. One service error all night long. Now, granted, again, all of their serves are high arcers, but at least they're getting them across, right?
Absolutely. You know, and that's all you need sometimes.
Yeah.
Let the other team make the errors. That's a big key component for volleyball, is allowing your other team and your opponents to make the errors versus you as a team.
2-0 lead. I just love the way she does that.
Oh, I do too. Her little wind up.
Tigers back on the attack to the outside once again. They have gone there exclusively, other than maybe once or twice to the middle, as that'll be wide on the return. I still think if I were Attucks, I need to place that someplace else too, because if you get a team that has a couple of good blockers, they're going to be there all the time. They don't have to move.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a thing to note when you're playing other teams. If it's working for you here, I wouldn't fix it either.
Yeah, until they stop it.
But
Just keep going with it.
Absolutely. But definitely a thing to note. Good dig there.
Play at the net, and it'll be won by PCR. Great job up front. Looked like that might have been Jackson Thomas. If it wasn't Thomas, it was Mary Singh, one of the two.
I think it was Jackson Thomas.
Let's take another look at it right here. Now she does have some size, and it was her.
So you get all excited.
The overpass. And misplayed there by Providence Cristo Ray. Tell you what, that time, watching Danny Daniels kind of tiptoeing on that line because she was very close to having a net violation, but she didn't touch the net.
No, she didn't. Good job by her, though. Good court awareness.
Side out, +3 here for Jones. Boy, barely getting it across. And guess what was left open right there in the middle? The campfire. And they found it. 5-2 your score.
As a coach, that's one of the most frustrating places to get scored on, too.
Yeah, I bet. Because you probably talked about it a million times.
And everybody knows it. And no matter what level, it is a shot that will at least once per match score a point for you.
There's an ace, by the way. First one of the night there by Providence Cristo Ray. So my question then is, just when I become emperor of the world, I'm going to put one person right there and she's not moving.
No.
You'll never get a ball in there as long as I'm coaching. Is that legal?
I don't know if you could out a seventh person.
Well, as Chuck said, when I become supreme emperor, then it will be legal. 5-3 Attucks. Well, I'll tell you one thing for sure as we go back to the outside and the kill. I would make sure, and again, I know coaching can be difficult at times. I'm at least going to designate one person. That's your area. I don't care what you do. You were not giving up any points in that campfire.
That's typically your libero
Okay.
when they are in left back.
Okay.
Typically, you want your libero going for that ball.
All right. Good. Then we've got that straightened out. I don't have to waste one of my wishes being supreme emperor.
There you go. You're welcome.
Thank you. 6-3 your score. Back to the outside again for Attucks. And the overpass not played by Providence, and now it's a 4-point lead. We got Landers now for the Tigers playing the outside left. We go back to the first set where Porter really had that big serve early and then had a really nice job of getting a huge double-digit lead, and Providence never recovered from there.
Yeah, she's got, back row.
Look at that.
Whoa.
That's the first time I think we've seen that tonight. Good communication there by the Tigers. Unfortunately, they hit it wide.
I like the back row attack. It's something you don't see a whole lot in the high school level that I definitely wish there was more of.
Yeah, no doubt about it. By the way, you can make a difference and help us put more student athletes on TV by logging on to IndianaSRN.org and directing your donation to a specific school. You can hit that donate button as well. More games, more opportunity for our kids here on IndianaSRN. And that'll go wide.
Another service ace.
By the way, we need you to donate because Hannah asked for a raise the other night after the game on Tuesday, and from what I hear, she got it. So Keith is going to have to ante up a little more cash, or stack as we call it here at IndianaSRN.
I actually think he took it from your salary.
No, did he? All right, see ya. 7-5 your score, and they went to the middle. The campfire was pretty much open that time. 8-5. When you do enough broadcasts with me, you'll find out that we're going to go Union one of these days. Shock myself, you. Yeah, we're all getting agents as well. Keith is going to have to come to the negotiating table. Misplayed on the receiving side. You know, we can always say this because he's always listening and watching, so nothing gets by him. So if you have something to say, go ahead. Tell him how much you want per game. 400 is what it was?
It was 5.
Okay, 500. All right, very good. 9-5 your score. And the misplay on the return there by Day. And here's what we saw again from Providence. Playing well and then all of a sudden 2-3 mistakes, and you just feel the air going out of their balloon.
Mm-hmm. And I think one reason for that is the age of their team. They're a younger team, and you can kind of see that they're still kind of finding themselves as a team. So for when you have that dynamic where you're still trying to figure out everything, it can be really hard when you've played really well a couple points and then all of a sudden the other team has gone on a run.
Yeah,
it's very hard to get that mental toughness. To kind of switch it back.
The overpass again handled well, but no point there for the Tigers. And there's some miscommunication again. That was something you mentioned in the pregame. You got to be talking all the time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Timeout on the floor by Providence. Cristo Ray will take a timeout as well. Attucks leads it by 7.
Piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements, top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com. Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. The guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Hey, tonight's game brought to you in part by Family Source Insurance. Pat Cherry is your independent agent representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. Call him for more coverage at 317-894-7000. And a nice return there by Providence Cristo Ray. They get the point, down by 6. Want to remind you today's broadcast is a copyright production of IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Any use of audio or video without the express written permission of IndianaSRN and the IHSAA is strictly prohibited. Attucks on the outside once again, the overpass, and there it is again.
Great dig, though. Providence hung in there. Just couldn't make it work for the point.
Campfire burned them one more time. PCR unable to cover that middle, and they're down by 7. You like that, how I put that together? It's pretty clever, huh?
It's also hard when you get a good dig. You get so excited in the moment. And another thing, when you do have a young team, is to keep your composure until that ball drops on the other side.
Yeah. You know, funny you say that. How many times you watched where a team starts celebrating, they think they got the point, and yet the ball's still alive, and they got to regroup real fast. I see that a lot.
Play to the whistle.
Yep. 8-point lead. Side out, Tigers. Providence trying to attack that back middle from behind the attack line deep, and the point. Now, that's twice we've seen that. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it worked.
I love it. And you can see her swinging the deep corners, which is exactly where you want to go on a back row attack.
That was Porter, by the way. And she was a foot and a half behind the line.
Good for her.
The lead at 9 and an ace. Make it 10. Well, this one has the same markings as the first set where you end up running off so many points and you end up with a double-digit lead.
You see it all the time.
Another good serve, and the overpass to the net will cost them, and now the Wolves can't stop the bleeding. Want to remind you, tonight's game brought to you in part by Aspen Creek Grill, where Hannah's taking the staff tonight after so we can have something to eat. If you're looking for amazing food and a great staff, great service as well, make sure you go to Aspen Creek Grill. You will not be disappointed. After the game, Hannah will be naming the player of the game. And there's another play at the net made by Jones.
Credit Demi Jackson, though. You could see her run all the way into the stands to save that play.
Do you have a couple of players you're looking at right now? As far as you don't tell me, because we want to keep it a mystery.
There's a few from that I'm looking at that
Okay.
I'm like, oh,
You're going to have to narrow it down here pretty quick. And the misplay at the net there by PCR. Yeah, if you want to whisper it to Chuck, he can put a graphic up, because then you can get graphics on the screen again like you did earlier, the keys to the game.
My Coach Corey's?
Yeah, Coach Corey's player of the game, brought to you by Aspen Creek Grill. 19-6 your score. And that'll be wide. Also want to thank our friends at Clean Slate. Find your future in the cloud. They're a technology consulting firm specializing in custom-built modern applications and products that deliver greater agility, faster speed for your innovation, and the resiliency to handle whatever the future throws your way. Call Clean Slate at 866-885-3249. Timeout on the floor, 20-6 Attucks.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
To 6, 14-point lead following the timeout by Providence Cristo Ray, and right now it is all happening in the direction of the Tigers. They can't really at this stage make too many mistakes. I mean, they're not even getting the return back, so it's been pretty easy on them.
It's a hard place for Providence to be when all night you've been getting served and served and served to try and find that groove, especially when you're down this far in a set. It's very hard.
Well, they finally stopped the scoring streak right there, misplayed by the Tigers. Side out again for Providence, Cristo Ray. By the way, the Tigers will be on the road at Warren Central in their next matchup, so they won't be traveling too far from their home court to play that one on the east side. Providence, Cristo Ray. If they lose tonight, they'll fall to 2-4 on the season. I'm sure they're going to be anxious. How about that sweep? That was quick.
I like it, though. I think
they're
she
going to
was
call
called for
a
a double.
Yeah. Oh, come on. That looked fine to me. I guess you can't really do that, kind of grab it and throw it that way. All right, 22-8 your score. And that'll be a service error. That is only their fifth. That is one area that they really have improved on coming into this one tonight. Only 5 there. I still only have the Tigers for 1.
That's very impressive. Credit their coach. Probably something they've been practicing.
Yeah.
It's very rare for a team to just miss one serve all game.
Well, it's like you said earlier, as you get the play at the net again, is just get it over, let them make the mistakes. And how many times have we seen that?
Oh, and it's a game of just seeing how, and then after you've gotten those points and those serves, then you up the aggression on the serves.
Yeah.
Get them in, make sure you're creating opportunities for your team, but then start turning up the dial a little bit.
Well, there you have it. Match point won by the Tigers, and they really dominated in that final set, winning it 25-8. And so overall, Crispus Attucks winning their 4th in a row, and it is time for Coach Corey's Player of the Game presented by Aspen Creek Grill.
Yes, I had to go with Latoria Porter. She dominated.
Yeah.
I mean, her serves, her ability to keep their team in rallies, and her back row attacks. Those couple swings she had, I was very impressed with those. Her placement was great, and she's able to lead her team as we just saw.
Well, and two, I think she kind of set the tone early, didn't she?
Absolutely.
With that, when she got that big lead with all the serves. Yeah.
And I think almost every single time she went back to the service line, she was good for at least a 4 or 5 point run for them.
All right, so they play Warren Central next, and they've won 4 in a row, so they've got a lot of things going for them. But then talk about Providence, Cristo Ray. You saw some bright moments. They just got to be able to be more consistent. But, again, you talked about the youth, and that's hard to do.
It is. But credit their coach. I think he's done a great job of teaching these young players, like, movements and placements and where you should be, when you should be there. And that's a really hard thing.
Yeah.
Because when you're as a player, when you're getting thrown to, hey, this is where you stand, this is your ball, this isn't your ball. Oh, but when it's coming this way, this is what you have to do. There's so much to think about as a young player who's new to the game that it can be very overwhelming. And when it comes to you, sometimes you just freeze.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, but credit to them. I think they've got a lot going for them. I'm excited to see the future for them.
All right, they got a lot of growth, and, of course, we'll keep an eye on them down the road. Hannah, thank you as always. Get some sleep.
Will do.
You've been working too much. Want to remind you that tonight's broadcast has been brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment, Passion to Care, Boilermaker Local 374, Wheeler Mission, Burtner Electric, the Morales Group, Northwestern Mutual, Indiana Labor's District Council, and the IndianaSRN Sports Page. Thanks for being with us. Don't forget high school football tomorrow night here on IndianaSRN.
So at his school, they give him a snack before they leave, and the teacher